to the magazines that carry their truth. 25 years of the same steady hand, finding the ones who fell through the cracks of the plan. From Mitcham to Croydon, from London to the world, every flag he planted said, you matter, you're hurt, but there's a man who finds you in the car.
Replace conversations.
Hello, Dr. Osama.
How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm good. I think my environment is noisy, but
That's
how
all
are
right.
you doing?
I can hear you clearly, so
Okay, good.
we'll take it, right?
All
No,
right.
it's a warmish day here.
Oh, well, it's warm here too, but we put our AC to the to the highest because it's too hot.
So that's a slight difference. You have AC in US. We don't really have AC here.
Oh, in London?
Yeah, in the UK, it's not normal to have AC. It's abnormal.
That is serious. That is serious.
Well, it doesn't it gets hot once or twice a year if we're lucky. Really, if we're lucky. It's been hot for the last few days. And I think it was hot from the weekend until yesterday, Thursday. Well, they said Thursday, it's going to end. So last Thursday gone. And it stayed warm, but it's not heat. It's not Nigerian heat, for example. Nigerian heat is hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's warm. It's summer, so I don't know what we expect really, but it's all right. We'll survive. I've got my fan on. Hopefully you can't hear it. If you can hear it, let me know.
I can hear you very well.
So can you hear my fan going? I got my fan.
No. So I can hear you, but can you see me there? It's just I don't know what is going on right here. I'm just I am not even that picture.
But you are, and I know you are. I know you are here. No, it's a lovely background, but not you.
But still, I can see myself there.
Yeah, can you?
Oh, that is crazy, though. But anyway,
it really is.
I'm going to get another laptop. Something is not working here.
That's all right. I think when I say, let me make sure we're on Facebook and let me make sure we're on LinkedIn.
All right.
I'm sure we are. I don't know, wrong room.
So
that's the list room. So I tried to send some invites. I don't know what my phone's doing. My phone's playing up. Try not to phone. Doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so scanning for networks. Why didn't you do that already? I don't understand. It's a crazy phone. It's a crazy world we live in, right? So that's the wrong event. Right, so this is the one we're on now. Yay! This is when the NSA says we're live.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that is good.
Well, we're live. So have you found your other device?
Yeah, I got my other device. So let me try and log in from there. Excellent. Because this one is the one I have is not showing my face, showing my picture. That's crazy.
Yes.
Anyway, if you want to start, go ahead and start though.
Yeah. Please, let me just make sure we are going on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're going on YouTube. So let me make sure we're going on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I'm gonna find it with the place, or I'm gonna find the link for the event page. Anyway, I suppose the good thing is I'm gonna keep everyone shorter today. I'm not gonna keep everyone for a long time as we can do.
Okay, that would be good.
Yeah. I've got daddy jobs to go and do, so I have to go and get my son in an hour and a half. So
okay.
So if we do an hour, a bit more, a bit less, then that should be enough. Anyway, I think it's a straightforward topic. Anyway, I think, like I said, the issue of working with others.
Oh,
That,
I saw that.
that's what we're talking about today, really, right?
Oh, I
Yeah.
saw that. I just laughed. I remembered. I remembered a book, the lessons we
Yeah.
learned from
Yeah.
COVID. That was a good experience.
That's a good place to start, right?
Immediately
So,
I saw that. I said, okay, I'm going to look up.
it's a good working with others. Obviously, is a good thing. It helps all of us. For those of us who need more hands, we have to work with others. For those of us who need more expertise, we have to work with others, right? But I think that there is a deeper level of working that we need to bring in, especially when it comes to achieving our bold idea. That's and that deeper level. I might put it. I might say there's two maybe two ends. The two ends is number one, teamwork. We have to create a team that's going to deliver for our business. It's going to do the work, serve our customers, help the company grow, and help each other perform. So teamwork is definitely one thing I think we know we have to do as organizations, as businesses. But many teams that you and I have worked in, my friends, have come unstuck, right? You can think of many times when teams have not done what a team could do, can do, should do, would do. So let's talk a bit about how to make teams work for sure. So that's what I want to discuss today, really. I suppose the other end of collaborate, the other end is collaborating with people. It's a deeper, more intimate working relationship, right? Where we are more closely.
Yeah.
Saying I don't know, when it comes to collaboration, I'm just keen that we don't put it as the ordinary working with other people thing. Collaborations is it's a special thing. How to put it? When we collaborate, when you and I collaborate, like on the book, Dr. Roxana, right?
Mm.
We know we're going to produce something new together. That's the point of having a team. That's the point of having the co-author's family, as I call it. And maybe that's my point today. We have to get to a place where our team is like a family. Which is it's a deeper level than just being colleagues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think we have to get to a place where, almost on an emotional and a spiritual level, we know each other, we like each other, we build each other up, we help each other improve.
Yeah.
Of course, this is not a one-way interaction. Again, going back to the books, our book Lessons Learned from COVID that Dr. Roxana mentioned. I remember when we set out to
Oh
write a
yeah.
group book. I remember saying very often in our meetings that don't be surprised if some relationships fracture. See, in any group book experience, all of them, the process leads to a breakdown of relationships almost every time. It's not because we don't like each other. It's just it's a feature of working intimately with people. You know, I think the risk is so clear. And it's very
Mm-hmm.
hard to mitigate against it. Things will go wrong. Things will go wrong. Like I say, just like in a company setting, in the team you work with at work, things will go wrong. And when things go wrong, how do we fix those?
Mm-hmm.
What does it really take? Is that I said that's part of what I want to discuss. Christy, superstar Christy, I see you. in case you don't know, my friends, Christy is a teamwork expert. Christy, please join us in the studio if you can. If you can't, I understand. But no, her thing is helping teams to work well together. And so when I set the topic, just after I met with Christy a couple of weeks ago, so I thought, okay, yeah, that's a good topic to discuss. Hopefully, she can come and share some of her insights. Yeah, right. So I think we have to see collaboration as next level of working together. I've got a couple of videos to show you to really paint a picture. So before we get to that, Dr. Roxana, what's your experience of working in collaboration?
Wow, collaboration. Thank you, Dr. Annie. Collaboration. Yes, collaboration can be good or bad and profitable depending on the way it is handled. All right. So, see, have you ever worked with someone who promised the world to you but delivered very little? That is how some collaborations go. Or maybe you have experienced the opposite. You partnered with the right person, and actually together you achieved something neither of you could have accomplished alone. That is the power of collaboration. And sometimes the danger the danger is you can collaborate and you get someone who do not have the same ethics with you. They bring the problems to the floor. So collaboration can multiply your impact. That is what I'm saying, or multiply your problems. Can you see? Can you hear me? Collaboration can multiply your impact
I
or
agree.
multiply your problems. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really do. I really do. I
So
love it.
today we are talking about the good, the bad, and the profitable
Mm.
of collaboration in business. In
Yeah.
business, wherever you're working. It could be
Yeah.
good. It depends. Unless there is clear communication at the beginning, if
Mm.
nobody's taken for granted, where if you're a creator, whether you're a creator, entrepreneur, professional, whoever you are, founder,
Mm.
it can go anywhere. Okay,
Yeah.
but what we are saying is if it is well done, especially in this era of AI, we can achieve a lot. In
Yeah.
business, you see, as a founder, I have been the department head of
Mm.
my department in Igobike Grammar School. And you have to make sure that you certain things that are courses that teachers don't want to teach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're paid something, some people want to teach the easiest course. Okay,
Mm.
so if you just pick up statistics and give just anybody, and then some people will feel like throwing a stone on you.
Yeah.
But they want algebra. Everybody wants algebra. And then who will teach all the statistics classes? Yeah, there are so many classes. And that is one of them. I was the president of Nigerian Women. And when the job is easy, people just want the easy way out. They want to be excused when it is the hard. So you have to make sure you understand. If you're a leader, you want to understand who you are working with and know who can tolerate what, and actually know who you can work with. Everybody cannot be in your executive team. You cannot just bring everybody in your executive team. So there are people you want to be near you, so that if you're not there, even if you're not there, when you breathe, they understand.
Mm.
When you are not even speaking, they understand. So anyway, let me stop there, Dr. Annie, because that's a lot to collaboration.
Yeah. No, there's certainly a lot of collaboration. Look, my
Mhm.
friends, I say if you are here, please make a comment. I can only welcome you when I see your name in the comments. I can't see you. I can see you, but I can't see you. If that makes sense. I can see you. I can't see who. So it's very hard for me to welcome you if I don't know who you are. Look, there are many things you mentioned there, Dr. Roxana, which I think we can begin to unpick some of them. I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah.
So we all know teams and collaborations that have gone spectacularly wrong. But I love what you said about how we can also create magic. We really can.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we don't all walk away from working with others. I may say, given the choice, you and I will work by ourselves. It's so much easier.
Yeah, so much easier to work with you, and I can tell you that. That's why when I'm coming to your show, I'm not. I can just make sure I walk in. But there are some shows I don't want to just come in because you don't know. You have to make sure you understand each other before.
Truly,
that's how it goes in collaboration.
Yeah, truly. You see, but I think in business we make obvious mistakes by not addressing these things. I think even on the simple things. How do we get this team working together? You see, when I was younger, I used to write. Go on.
Yeah, I think it's.
Go on, Dr. Roxana.
Yes, first of all, we have to define what. I think the first thing is, I don't do it all the time, but when you get a team, we have to define what everybody should do and not just pretend that everybody will be following, because really, your ethics may not be the same as mine. Some people are there, they'll tell you they have come to sell. They're not interested in any other thing but to sell. But it has to be working. The whole team, everything has to be working before you start selling anything. What if the thing is broken? How can you sell? So that is the problem.
What if the people are broken? How can they work together, right?
What if? Okay, so what I'm saying, if it is done well, remember how our book, the lessons we learned from COVID-19 actually came out well. Remember, we said we're going to have a show for that. We have to talk about it again. I don't know if anybody promotes that book. I do promote it in my website.
It's on my website. It's on my LinkedIn. My friends see the book every day because it's on my background.
I'm going to make a video with it and post it on LinkedIn, and I'm going to tag anybody that is still here because we need to promote that video. I mean that we had a lot there. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. If it goes well, if collaboration goes well with teams and individuals, then we learn a lot, and it's educational. The community organizations, so many things will go well. Collaboration matters for businesses to succeed. So if we can, if we can succeed together with all the technology now that we have, I mean, we can achieve a lot.
We can. Look,
Yes, are you still here? I see that you're not here. So you can build your business with team members.
Yes.
You have never met before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The book we're talking about, Dr. Roxana, has 10 authors, right? 10 co-authors.
Yes, 10 authors, 10 different human beings.
Yeah, from across the world, men and women, right? Different professions, many legends, truly. Yes, but it's only you and I talking about how do we move it forward? How do we bring it back? How do we, there's many things tied up in that. Of course, a good few of our co-authors are interested in working with us to rejuvenate the book, call it that, right?
You
But
know what?
I think it takes you need people who really care.
Yeah.
You need
You
people
know,
who really care beyond doing the easy. They really want this thing to work. And I say all that because in normal anthologies, group books, in other words, the co-authors have a very light touch. Literally, they're there from the beginning. They give up. You give up your content, and then you might do a couple of events at the launch of the book, for example. But after that, you have no interest. You have nothing. Most co-authors walk away. They rarely talk to the author, the organizer.
that is not what I want for this great book. That's a great book right there.
I'm with you.
That is a great book we produced. I don't think people know that. So why can't you just walk away from all the I know we need to anyway. You know what? We need to promote it.
We will, and we have a plan. Thanks to you, really.
Yes.
I mean that
So
sincerely.
when others see us promoting it, then let them come back. Yeah.
It's about it takes more than just yes, we're working together to have that sort of care about what we create together, right? It takes a lot. Of course, if you're on my YouTube, please like today's video, comment, subscribe, and all that. Look, there's a lot to making teamwork and collaboration work. There's a hell of a lot, right? I think it starts from the very beginning.
Yes.
And so a lot of people don't think of who is in your team, who are you collaborating with. What does that person need to bring to the table? In terms of their personality, their values, that you keep mentioning, Dr. Rosal. Now, these things do matter, right? Of course, there's a process. Yeah, and I think there's a process that we as an organization implement to bring this team together. Saying when I was younger, and there was a lot of team building. I don't know whether you remember Dr. Rosal. There's a lot of team building days where, as a team, you would go off site together, whether it's to an assessment center. So it's a place where they simulate the workplace. They were saying that there's breakout rooms, you can do little exercises, big exercises, and you can also present back to the rest of the team, right? So I don't see those as much these days. I don't see team building as such a big thing these days. I think it should be even bigger.
Yeah.
Then I think there's the other question about leadership. I think that's important as well. That's what I was saying.
Leadership is important.
It is, but we live in a world of experts. Christy, I'd love to have some of your thoughts, right? So we live in a world. I mean, if you've got a team of experts, people who know more than you about a topic, right? I know it's hard to believe, but people do know more than us. They really do, right? So if you're going to bring experts together, who are you to lead them? Why can't they lead themselves? Think what they can create if they can be truly free to create, rather than me saying, "I'm your boss. I'll tell you what to do," and they're like, "Don't tell us what to do. We know more than you."
That is the ego and superego.
Exactly that.
It comes in, but let me tell you, what is collaboration? See, we are told that collaborations happens when individuals, teams, organizations, partners combine their resources, skills, knowledge, network to achieve common goals. He didn't say single person. He did not say no single. See, you cannot possess every skill. You cannot possess every skill required to achieve this. All of them, all the significance efforts. The most successful people understand this, and you notice the most successful people bring their ego down, because the beginning of the cons is ego. Okay, so they know when to lead, they know when to partner. The most successful people, they know when to be quiet. They know when to speak expertise outside their
Yeah.
own area of strength. You know, think about the biggest companies in the world. It's never owned by one person. You have
Yeah.
people cooperating.
Mm.
Think about
Yeah.
successful non-profits. See, educational institutions, they cooperate.
Mm.
Community organizations, think about them. You see, they don't succeed in isolation, but human beings have that ego. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when we
Yeah.
allow that ego and superego come and surface and take place, that's when it starts going south.
I
So,
agree. I agree
so
100%.
success rarely happens in isolation.
Mm.
Success is
Mm.
often the result of strategic collaborations
Yeah.
between leaders.
Yeah. Yeah. I say, which takes, I guess it takes
Strategic collaboration.
it takes buy-in from the people involved. And I say, if the leader creates the team, then they have a duty to try and make the team work. I think that somehow or another, we can bring together experts and let them be self-leading. So I remember when I was about 20, that was all the rage, right? Self-directed teams, self-directed teams.
Mhm.
Let the experts do expert stuff. But what if any one or many of those people don't have the right personnel skills? Now, look, before we move on, let me show you a quick video that
Okay.
sort of that
All right.
separates collaboration from cooperation. They sounds very similar, but they're very different things, right? So it's a couple of minutes long, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it, right? So here goes.
Okay.
Sometimes to collaborate. First off, let's really define or at least appreciate what we're talking about when we talk about collaboration. Sometimes people will talk about or use interchangeably the word cooperation, but that's different. You should already be able to cooperate and work with other people. Cooperation means simply that you can work with other people without any problems. You should have learned how to do that in second or third grade. So when we talk about collaboration, what we're saying is that you develop the ability to work with other people in such a way that you can improve, better, build upon other people's ideas, and vice versa. They can work to better, improve, and build upon your ideas. Collaboration means you're able to understand the strengths of other people, and then, like a team, fill each other's weaknesses and build on each other's strengths to come up with something tremendous, to do something great. That's what employers want. Let's take a look at why it's so important in the workplace. Suppose I have a project and I'm putting together a team. So I'm going to hire a team. I choose one person from an Ivy League college. I hire two people from a state college. I hire two other people who don't have degrees but are extremely intelligent and very creative problem solvers. And then I have a third person that I hire, whether or not he has a degree. He's been in the industry for 25 years, so he has a lot of practical experience. I pay a lot of money for this team, and on paper, it looks like a fantastic team. If I give them a plan, I say, this is what we're going to do, here's the project specs, and I give it to them, they should be able to cooperate and produce the product. But what employers really want is to be able to come to this team and say, I have a problem. I don't know how to solve it. I'm not sure how to solve it. Or I have a client and our client wants this done. Here's their problem. We need to solve it. And what we want as employers is to be able to give this to the team and have them collaborate and come up with a solution. That's what's so valuable about collaboration. What can make collaboration hard, though, and we've mentioned this in other videos, is that in school, you're not used to collaborating. In other words, right now, you're concerned about your grades, your grades on your tests, quizzes, on final exams. You're worried about your GPA, and you're worried about your SATs. You don't really care about what other people are doing. The class as a group isn't trying to achieve something as a class. You're doing things for yourself individually. So be aware of that so that you can think in terms of, as I get into the workplace, I'm going to need to rely on other people. I'm going to need to be able to work with other people to achieve something for more than just myself or just relying on myself. Remember, what employers are looking for are not just the grades, the GPA, the SAT scores. What they're looking for are people who can take their intelligence, their creativity, their problem solving skills, and use that in a group setting to solve big problems, to do something together, to work as a team to accomplish something great. That's what employers look for.
Yeah, I like that.
For the metacognitive portion of this micro lesson, we'd like you to try and notice something over this next week. Try to notice if you're the type of person who likes to accomplish things by themselves. Are you a lone wolf? Whenever you have a project or are going to do something, do you just like to tackle it on your own? Or are you the type of person who likes to work with other people, likes to get other people's input, or likes to get other people because you know they have certain skills or ability or knowledge that can help you? Try to notice that. Are you a lone wolf, or do you like to work in a team to collaborate? At the end of the week, if you like, write down what you learned about yourself in the comments. Are you someone who is going to be able to collaborate once you hit the workplace? Or do you have a lot of work to do to try and learn to depend and work with others? Let us know. We'll see you next time.
So, I like that video because it makes it very, very simple for us to understand.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
that's like I said, many of us.
something.
Go on, please carry on.
As we are saying.
Yeah, I think
It's something as we are saying though. I
yes,
think we both
yes,
understand
yes.
what collaboration is, but we know that
Mm.
human beings can bring emotions, they can bring problems that multiply. I mean, so if it's done well, it is really good.
Yeah, yeah. Now, when it's done well, we can do magical things.
Yes.
You know, I say, but the real experience, sadly, is that a lot of people, they don't do working with others very well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe it comes back to the point I made earlier that many of us are lone. We're lone wolves. We'll rather be left alone to work. You know, I say I've had several teams. Christy, this is to you. I've had several teams, right? I built many a team, you know, but I get rid of all of them. I fire them in the end, and the end is not normally a long way from the beginning. So they come, you know, I train them, I pay them, and then I have to make them leave because, you know, I guess, you know, it's what the guy said in the video. You know, the real trick behind working with others is caring about what we're creating together. You know, whereas you know, if you join, you know, a team, or if you expect people to join your team and be all for your business, you might be burnt, sadly, right? Sadly, you know, you might come unstuck. Now, like you say, Dr. Rosana, everyone has their own agendas, their own emotions, their own issues, their own problems, their own things, right? And it's a lot for us to ask them to almost put their issues aside and work for the greater good. You know, see, now, this is why I fire my staff often, Dr. Rosana. I've probably done this about, 5 times, 6 times. Now, I built a team of 3 or 4 and then had to get rid of them, right? Simply because there's nothing more annoying to me than when the team can't work together.
Yeah.
You know?
So
go on, please, Karen.
Oh yeah, but it's when you can build a bunch of products together, create courses, host events, write books, build communities together. But the challenge is even though technology has brought us together, it has not made our relationship easier
Yeah.
because people still bring emotions,
Mm. Mm.
expectations,
Yeah.
different values,
Yeah.
and that complicates the matter. So what I
Yeah.
think is before the collaboration, if every leader, if we can, we communicate what each person, what A is going to do, what B will do, what C will do, so that we know at the beginning. But I don't think we usually do that. At the beginning, we
Mm.
think that everything will go smoothly
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Yeah. No,
It
we
doesn't.
throw it all together and say, there you go. There's a brief, like go and deliver, right? And then we're surprised when
That's
they don't, when
uh,
people don't bring all the things my friend mentioned, the intelligence, the creativity, the problem solving. And I wrap that all up in the word care. People don't care enough, right? How do you make them care? Look, you mentioned people who don't want to do the unpleasant work.
yes.
People want to do the unpleasant, and saying that's another reason I sack my staff. So the first one, just to be clear, is when my team members were looking at me saying, "I don't want to talk to him about what we need to do." I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm
Yeah.
paying all of you. You're working for me. We're after the same goal. If he can't do it, why don't you do it?" Oh no, no, no! That's his job. That's her job. I'm like, whose fault is this? If you can't talk to each other, who do I blame?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know who to blame, so I just said, okay, you're all fired. You're all gone, because people will bring the childishness to your
That's
business,
exactly what I'm saying.
childish and stupidity. You think, what the hell? Why are you behaving like
Yeah.
babies? And they really do, right? Look again, and I'll say this. For me, I'm a very I'm a stickler. That's someone who put their flag in the ground, right, for
Yeah.
what they believe. And my great belief is that one rotten apple ruins the barrel.
Oh yeah.
So so
Spoils
I
the
can't
whole.
have, yeah, and this spoils. So I can't have one person who's not very teamy. Who can't do teamwork amongst everyone else. Someone has to go. If I can find who it is, that person has to go. If I can't find anyone in particular, then a lot of people have to go.
I
Everyone
know.
has to go.
I know.
You know?
But you see, but we see that whenever it goes well, we have a lot of advantages. The
Mm,
advantages are innumerous
mm,
because you gain from other people's strengths. Um, some people have weaknesses, then they also gain from other people's strength. One person may be excellent at strategy or strategizing what you're going to do. Another may be gifted in marketing,
yeah, yeah,
another can excel in operations and have financial expertise, you know. And when
mm,
these strengths come together, extraordinary things happen. But if they can come together, so these are the pros, that you don't have to
yeah,
know everything. That's one thing. No human being knows everything. But if we can come together and work together, then there's a whole lot to achieve in less time. You can
mm,
be one person doing it and trying to learn it for 1 year, but they say two good heads are better than one.
yeah.
You don't have to know
Always,
everything. You simply
always,
need to
always.
know how to work with people who
Yeah,
bring strength that you don't have. Because whether you like it or not, other people bring strength that you don't have. But the fact is that some people may not want others to know what they have. They
mm,
can start hiding it so that
yeah.
even though they have the strength, they get keep. I don't know if you notice
I,
that you can be in a team where some people they know what uh, they can do, but they get keep what they have. And
yeah,
so
yeah.
you suffer in silence, even though They know the skill, but they will not let other people know it.
Yeah, I think it can work. The flip side can also be your reality, right? Where it's all right saying let's build let's build on each other's skills, right? Let's leverage your expertise, let you do what you're good at, right? I think there's also the flip side of that is that many people will hide their limitations. They will
Yes.
hide what they're very good at. So you can't address a
What's it?
skills there's a skills gap that you don't know exists
Yeah.
until further down the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are problems that we have. I wonder whether you've ever used team roles. Belbin's team roles is 19. Did you remember Belbin's team roles?
I
Basically,
haven't heard about that, but if it is anywhere, but because open conversation at the beginning, communication, good networking at the beginning, or wherever we need to, maybe it's not at the beginning, but when we see that things are not going the right way,
yeah,
how do we make it work? We brainstorm, right?
yeah,
Yes, we brainstorm, and if people are willing to volunteer and say something, because you can actually volunteer and brainstorm, and some people may not want to say anything. They
yeah,
withhold what
yeah,
they need, what they have.
yeah,
So you don't know if they know it or they don't. They may know
mm,
it and not say it. And if somebody doesn't say something, you never know what somebody knows until they say it. That's what we say
yeah.
about disability. If
I
you
agree.
produce all the beautiful products and leave it in your house and you never show it to the world, then nobody knows you have a product. And the
Indeed.
products are in your house there decaying
Yeah,
until you show it to the world and they know you have it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, I think again, it comes down to caring enough about the organization, the greater mission. If you don't have that care in your heart, I don't think we're going to get anywhere too quickly. Let me show you a quick introduction to Bourbon's team roles. That way, you can have an idea of what it is if you haven't seen it before. Again, it's pretty straightforward. Here goes.
Missed deadlines, confusion, or tension, it often comes down to how people work together. Today, we're talking about something that can really help with that. Belbin's 9 team roles. It's a simple but really effective way to understand the different roles people play in a team and how that can lead to better collaboration, less stress, and more success. By the end of this video, you'll know how to recognize these roles in your team and maybe even discover which one fits you best. Let's jump in. The background of team roles. From Adam Smith's division of labor in 1776 to modern team dynamics, the idea stays the same. We all have unique talents. In The Wealth of Nations, Smith said, "Specialize as a baker and produce only bread. You must now rely on someone else for your clothes." This leads us to Belbin's 9 team roles, a model that shows how specialization in a team setting leads to real success. The cheesecake analogy. Imagine a cheesecake and 5 people are asked to eat it. Each gets 2 slices, task divided. But what if the cake is made of different desserts? Tiramisu, red velvet, brownie, apple pie, raspberry cheesecake. Each person now needs to learn how to eat each type properly. Over time, they master their specific piece of the puzzle. This shows Belbin's main idea. Individual specialization matters. Teams work better when members understand their strengths and roles. What are Belbin's 9 team roles? Let's look at each of the 9 roles, along with their strengths and allowable weaknesses. 1. Resource investigator. The mind of the team. Strengths: outgoing, enthusiastic, skilled communicator, seeks opportunities. Allowable weaknesses. Over-optimistic. Loses interest after the initial stage. Might forget to follow up on leads too. Team worker. The glue of the team. Strengths. Cooperative, perceptive, diplomatic, communicative. Allowable weaknesses. Indecisive under pressure. Avoids confrontation. Hesitant with unpopular decisions. 3. Coordinator. Focuses on team objectives and delegates tasks. Strengths. Mature, confident, goal-oriented, identifies talent. Allowable weaknesses. May be seen as manipulative, might offload own work, tends to over-delegate for. Plant, the creative problem solver. Strengths, creative, free thinking, problem solver. Allowable weaknesses. Poor communication, ignores small details, may be forgetful. Evaluator, the objective thinker. Strengths, strategic, objective, discerning. Allowable weaknesses. Less inspirational, overly critical, slow decision-making, brings deep knowledge to the team. Strengths, dedicated, self-starter, single-minded, technically skilled. Allowable weaknesses, focuses too much on detail, narrow contributor, information overload. 7. Shaper drives progress and team momentum. Strengths, dynamic, courageous, thrives under pressure, overcomes obstacles. Allowable weaknesses, easily provoked, may offend others, can be aggressive or impatient. 8. Implementer turns plans into actionable tasks. Strengths, practical, reliable, efficient, organized. Allowable weaknesses, inflexible, resistant to change, slow to adapt. 9. Completer finisher, the perfectionist of the team. Strengths, conscientious, detail-oriented, searches out errors, polishes the final product. Allowable weaknesses, tends to worry excessively, avoids delegation, overly perfectionistic. Key principles of the model. Here are some important points about Belbin's team roles. 1. 9 roles don't mean 9 people. Most people play 2 or 3 roles in a team. 2. Not all roles are needed at the same time. 3. Roles can be used when needed. They don't all have to work simultaneously. 4th, roles can change over time. As people gain experience, they might grow into different roles. How to find your Belbin role. The only official way to find your Belbin role is by completing the Belbin Self-Perception Inventory online and getting your Belbin individual report. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please.
Yes, right.
That's very
An interesting concept. An interesting concept. When you do psychology degree, you spend years learning about well-being and team roles. And then I think one of the complications. I'm trying to get back to my restream. Right, one of the complications is that we don't have 9 people in our business. Now what? Now what? Because I think each role is important. How are you doing, Dr. Lisa? So well, things are moving again. I'm moving again on screen, so that's always helpful, right? So do come along to Lisa's Your Metamorphosis later on tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you got nothing doing, come and talk with us. How to, keep the joy going when you're in heavy menopause. That's a title, I think. Something to that effect, right? Do join us. Dr. Roxana, look, say when you haven't got 9 people, what are you meant to do, right? How are you meant to get all those roles filled?
If I have, say that again. Say that again.
Most of us don't have 9 people in our business. We don't have nine team members.
90. Well, you have to give the number of people what the things they have to do. Make sure you schedule the work, and that everyone knows what they're expected to do. Don't just think that they will start doing something. We have to train them. We have to train them to do what they're supposed to do. and then watch them do it. That is why when we hire somebody new, we make sure that we train them, and so what they know what to do. If I have 10 people only in my organization, then that's why we have AI. You can hire AI to do some part of the job so that you do not get humans to doing all of them, because
So
AI can help
what,
you now fast.
what so what if you have 3 people, 4 people in your business?
See, it depends on how big your business is. If your
Yeah,
business is not that big, it's not, you don't may not even need. Some businesses are managed by just one person, solopreneurs. Do
yeah,
you know that?
they are.
You can, yeah. Some businesses are managed by solopreneurs and they're doing well.
You see, but we need a team to grow.
Well,
You know,
that's
and
what I'm saying. You can make a team of AI. Your team can be, but that's true.
I laugh. It's true, but it's not. You know, it's not. If you are a tech company, then that might make sense. No, you know, if you are a bricks and mortar business, that's a bit more complicated. You know, AI can
Yeah.
do many things now, but there are things that things that require you know a human touch. I'm talking
Yes.
now dealing with customers. I didn't say answering customers' questions or complaints. I said dealing with customers, building that relationship. AI can't do that for you. You know,
Yeah.
AI can. They'll tell you they can, but they can't, right? You
Oh
know,
no,
I think.
actually sometimes they tell you that, okay, I'll get you a human. They tell
Mm,
you that.
yeah, yeah.
Depends on
Almost
how they're trained.
every time I was asked to speak to a human because I just can't take. I mean, you know, the machines we have, the AI tools we have, the bots that businesses tend to pay for these days, they're limited. If
Yeah,
your
one
question,
thing is that,
if your question is not in there, you're not going to get an answer.
yeah,
You know,
but one
and
thing is that
go on, please.
some companies are not trying to go with AI. So,
Mm,
but if we have to learn to use AI, and we find out that some of the things we actually need humans for, we
yeah,
may not need humans for.
yeah,
So, some companies, anyway, have not
yeah,
actually they don't really want to use AI, but those who want to use AI, they actually they grow faster.
yeah.
Collaborations maybe with human. Actually, sometimes you can ask this AI some questions.
Mm,
Ask,
mm,
oh yeah, I can't, when I go to Claude, this I ask them questions and they answer,
yeah.
and majority of the time they give you some interesting answers. No, there, and
Mm,
you are not afraid of. You're not saying that it's going to tell it to somebody or making fun of you. So very early in the morning, I go to morning deliberations, and I ask what. Then I'll have my briefing. Then it
mm.
tells me what AI news, financial literacy news, mathematics news. Yeah, every morning, and I
Yeah,
actually sometimes make a video of it. But
yeah.
why are we paying for this AI if we are not using it? Why do you pay your $20 a month to ChatGPT and then
I don't know. You know, look,
Claude, Perplex?
yeah,
I use them
yeah.
as much as I can. The ones I
Well,
know how to use.
I'll say this: most people don't pay for AI. That's probably the gap we're missing. You know,
Okay.
I pay ChatGPT. I pay for many other AI based tools, right? You know, I'm saying, I said, look, we can replace many human tasks with AI. What we
Oh
can't
yeah.
replace is personalities, and we can't replace creativity. We can't, problem solving. Yeah, maybe. We can't replace enthusiasm.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
There are
we
so many
can't
things we cannot
replace
do.
truly.
Did,
And saying that that's half our problem, right? That's half the
did
problem we
you
have
watch?
these days.
Did you watch our video the other day for last weekend? Trust.
Which one?
We talked about the only thing that I cannot
Mm,
do for you is trust.
Yeah,
Yeah, your
build that
unfair
trust.
advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You
So
know,
we extensively for about 2 hours, my team and I, we talked about there are things that I cannot do. We know that, but it can help you speed up your work.
mm,
Then someone, a human, has to be at the back end to see, because they actually sometimes AI has confident, very confidently tell you something, and lo and behold, you go and check,
it was
it's
wrong.
not
It
actually
is wrong.
true. But not
Yeah.
all the time, I can tell you that.
Mm.
Not
Yeah,
all
no,
the
it's a rare thing, you know. So when we, you know, you have to ask you complicated questions for that to happen.
Yes,
But
yes.
look, you know, look,
And sometimes when you know it made a mistake, ask them to fix it. So
mm,
this is not right. Fix it. You can do that. I do that to my Claude. Whenever he gives me something, need to fix it, and he fixes a lot of them.
yeah,
Actually,
look,
as a student, if you turn in your research paper and your research paper shows more than 20% written by AI, your paper will be rejected.
mm,
So when you finish writing the paper, you have to be the human in. So that is
yeah,
why we cannot take ambient stuff. Yeah, be the human in the loop. Go back and read the paper. Make sure it's saying what you want it to say. Correct the things. Even actually use Grammarly to check my spellings, because you notice there are so many of them. You correct
mm,
that, and later on I also check what percentage of my paper is actually online out there. It's your responsibility to reduce that percentage and make
yeah,
sure that the percentage of paper you are turning in is not up to 20% written by AI, or your paper will be rejected.
yeah,
As
yeah.
yes,
You see, you know, there's some people will have a problem with the AI early adopter. That's what I'll call them for today, right? You know, that
yeah,
person who's keen on AI, you know, does use AI for most things, right? You know, so in the video, you know, the guy spoke about some team members have degrees, some are experts in the field, some are just very clever people, no
mm,
qualifications, right? I'm saying, you know, how your team members react to each other's skills and deficiencies matters, and also how your team members, you know, create a process that they can work with happily. You know, again, I'm sure you know you can imagine people who will turn around and say, "That's not your work, that's AI." You know, as if it's a bad thing. You know, if it helps you do your work, what's the problem, right? You know,
mhm.
but you know, people have their own issues. However, you want to make a team work. You know, so I may bring the topic back for next time in a couple of weeks. How does AI impact teamwork? You know, to achieve, you know, on the
Yeah.
journey to achieve your broad idea. So I'm intrigued at what people do, right?
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
But
is it, is it,
we have talked about a lot of the benefits of working
mm,
together. And
yeah,
sometimes you work together, you also involve AI. You use AI
yeah,
to do a whole lot of things.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Collaboration can dramatically accelerate your growth. Just like you can use AI to help you to accelerate your growth.
Mm,
See, imagine trying to build an audience from zero, like you don't have any audience. But now imagine partnering with someone who already have a lot of that audience. So
mm.
your growth will change immediately.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Liana, I see you. Never too late, my friend. Glad you're here. We just watched the video. If you missed it, then please do watch the replay. A decent video about team roles. The first video was about cooperation versus collaboration. What's the difference? So, you know, I hope. So I think I'm going to turn this conversation into a series, Dr. Rosana. You know,
Okay.
that's the only way I can keep it short today. So
Okay.
next time we'll talk about AI, and then I
Okay.
think we'll talk about conflict in teams. How do we resolve those? I'm going conflict in teams, and we'll also talk about leading teams. You know, maybe leading and managing teams. Yeah, managing and leading teams, right?
Yeah.
And then also, then I think the last one I want to talk about in this series is delegating in teams. How do you delegate? Yes, no, it'll come back to what we just talked about, the team roles. Like who wants this? Who's the expert at it? Who's actually good at doing this? And then let's see whether you actually want to do. Like, do you have capacity to take on the task that needs doing? Right? It's all of that. Now, look, my friends, I said we'll discuss this in detail as the weeks go by. Dr. Roxana, you're more than welcome to join every time and have your golden seats that you have right there, right?
Oh yeah, if you let me in on time though, because if you give me the last minute, uh, if you give it to me last minute, I'll do what I have to do.
Yeah, I totally understand. Look, I'll certainly build you in. So, I'll let you know. We'll have to talk about our book relaunch anyway. And then we'll talk about the other things that we need to do going from there as well.
Okay.
Look, my son is waiting, so let me go and get him. That way, I've still got a family. Then back in time for Lisa's show.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Liana, I hear you. Go on. You're gonna enjoy your evening. No, as Liana said, I watched the replay. I was trying to attend to events at once. You can. Of course, you can. And I'm in two places at once. So is Lisa, but very often. So did your event happen, Dr. Roxana? Did your event happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we actually worked. We were there for 2 hours, dishing it out. I had a team of 6 professionals. We were debating, but you know what happened? The LinkedIn threw away my connections, so I had to keep connecting. So that, but anyway, I put it in a list there, so you can see it. Can watch a replay.
Excellent. So was it an issue with StreamYard or an issue with LinkedIn that you did?
Well, I don't even know. But what I'm saying is, when I connect a StreamYard, for some reasons, LinkedIn will trip it off. I don't know. So, but anyway, later on, the last minute it did.
Yeah, thank goodness. I mean, something's changing somewhere. Now, Restream has changed how we set up events now. So there's already changed it. So you create the events and you have to go to a whole separate list and then schedule the event to go live from there. And for hours on end, I just sat there thinking, what's going on? What's going on? So eventually we'll work it out. Now, that's the power of solo working, right?
Oh yeah, that drove me crazy. But anyway,
I could hear it.
You finally worked better.
Look, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much. Do enjoy your evening. I don't see you later. But I'll message you. We'll go from there. Thank you, everyone, who spent your time with us. Like I say, do like and comment on today's video on YouTube. And of course on LinkedIn, why not, right? And join us again in 2 weeks' time. Prof, have a good evening. You take care.
You too have a good evening.
Bye-bye, everyone.
And he sees